A long-awaited report on clergy sexual abuse in Germany is released, and it faults both Pope Emeritus Benedict XVI and Cardinal Reinhard Marx. The Archdiocese of Munich and Freising commissioned the report nearly 2 years ago. It examines allegations of abuse between 1945 and 2019 and is around 1,000 pages long. The future Pope Benedict led the Archdiocese from 1977 to 1982. Earlier today, he strongly denied cover-up allegations. Joining us now from Rome is Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Andreas, great to see you. Tell us, what were the findings of that German report?
Yes, Tracy. Today, a German law firm presented its report on abuse cases in the Archdiocese of Munich. The study was commissioned by the diocese itself and covers more than 70 years, including the tenures of future Benedict XVI, Cardinal Friedrich Wetter, who succeeded him, and Cardinal Reinhard Marx, who has served as Archbishop of Munich and Freising since 2007. The report identified more than 400 cases in which most victims were male. The lawyers faulted Benedict XVI for a possible mishandling of 4 cases, Cardinal Wetter for 21 cases, and the current Archbishop of the diocese, Cardinal Marx, for 2 cases. Pope Emeritus is denying all allegations for a cover-up. He sent a statement of 82 pages confirming this position to the investigators ahead of the publication of the report, which the lawyers actually commended. The cases brought against Benedict XVI are not new. In the past, media has especially focused on the case of a priest who is accused of abusing at least 23 boys. While the lawyers believe that Benedict XVI must have been aware, his private secretary, Archbishop Georg Genswein, recently told a German newspaper that all claims suggesting that Pope Emeritus had knowledge of the priest's history of sexual allegations are wrong.
Andreas, what's the fallout here? I mean, what type of consequences will this report have?
While it is rather unlikely that charges will be brought against Benedict XVI, Cardinal Marx had already offered his resignation in light of the sexual abuse scandals in his diocese and under his tenure in May last year, which was refused. Cardinal Marx was not present at the press conference, but gave a statement afterwards asking the victims of the abuses for forgiveness. He said that the report is a very important step towards change, and Cardinal Marx used the term abuse crisis and highlighted the importance of the German synodal path as a way out of this crisis towards a reform of the Church. Now, we must not forget that this report also comes at a critical time for the German Church. The synodal path is nearing its end, in which Church functionaries and bishops want to vote on core issues such as the Church's stance on sexuality, marriage, lay people and women priests. Observers warn that this path could result in a schism. The allegations against Benedict XVI could also be interpreted as a distraction from the situation in other dioceses and from other dignitaries.
And Andreas, not a whole lot of time left, but I do want to pivot onto something different. I know you're going to host the second EWTN Roman Nights panel discussion from St. Peter's Basilica. What more can you tell us about that?
Well, this Roman Nights episode's motto is Instruments of Peace, and while we're not planning on touching on the abuse report in Germany, which just came out today, it might very well be that since we have a longtime Vatican expert with us, Francis Rocker from the Wall Street Journal, who just published on this story as well, that we'll touch upon it. But in general, we want to talk about how we all can become instruments of peace in our jobs, families, and communities. The motto is taken from Pope Francis's message for this year's World Day of Peace. And I believe that especially in times when we are confronted with evil, such as those abuses we just heard from, it's very important to pray and think about also what each of us could do to bring some much-needed light into this world.
Absolutely. Well, Andreas, thank you so much for your time today and speaking with us. We appreciate it. Andreas Thonhauser, EWTN Vatican Bureau Chief. Thank you again.
Thank you, Tracy.